CountryWide Connect with Andy Thompson and Sarah Perriam-Lampp.
Sarah Harris, GM, the New Zealand Farm Environment Trust, the Balanced Farm Environment Awards. Really appreciate your time. Thanks so much, Sarah. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too, Andy. Thanks for having me.
Been a busy old time for you. The regional finals have wrapped up, correct?
Yes, that's right. So we run through 11 regions with the Balanced Farm Environment Awards from the top of the North and Northland right through to Southland. So we now have 11 regional supreme winners, which is fantastic. A great range of farming and growing enterprises again, which is, you know, the strength of our awards being the pan sector. So we have sheep and beef, dairy, deer, horticulture. So great to see that all coming through.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that actually. What type of farms are entering? Does it fall into a pattern? Do you get more of one sector than the other generally, or not?
Typically, sheep and beef have probably been the sector we've had more of. But that's sort of slowly changing. I think we're definitely seeing more horticulture and arable coming in, which is great.
And what about the interest in the awards? I know it's hard to, get people to enter these sort of things because, again, there's that natural Kiwis are naturally going, oh, I'm not good enough to enter. Do you get good? You got good numbers coming through?
We have. We've got enough. I always sort of set myself a target of around 70 entrants across the country in a year. We fell just shy of that this year, but it's really tough. Nobody's ready. Nobody wants their property to be judged unless it's perfect. And as we know with farms and growing operations, they're never perfect. You're on a journey. So we really try to sell that fact that enter, come along, see where you're at in your journey, get some great advice from our judging teams. Feedback is given to all of our entrants, which is great. It's quite a detailed process we go through, Andy. We put them through an initial round of judging at the start in the regions, and then people who are named finalists then go through to a second round of judging. So most people end up having two sets of judges go across their properties, which can be a bit daunting, but our judges are very, they try to keep it really laid back, and it's like you're taking a group of friends around your property and showing them what you're proud of.
So two separate sets of judges coming through. That would be daunting and very robust process then.
Yeah, it is. It is. And, that's something that we pride ourselves on. For me, the single biggest reason people should want to enter our awards is to receive the feedback and to understand where they are in terms of their sustainability journey. And then, if they happen to be the supreme winners, that's fantastic. But if not, they should have taken a lot away from being involved in the process anyway.
Yeah, I think as you quite rightly pointed out, it's a continuum, right? No one's ever ready, no one's ever finished, but to get people to take that first step. Once people have entered once, do you see them coming back and entering again, or is it kind of a one and done deal?
No, we definitely are seeing them come back, which I love, particularly around succession and a generation change on a property. You might remember we had James and Debbie Stewart from Stewart Dairylands as the Horizons Regional Supreme winners a couple of years ago. That was their second time entering. James's parents entered 15 years prior, so they came back and entered again, which is great. And certainly I encourage people to double enter. It's quite a nice, because we have that triple sort of bottom line approach where we're financial sustainability, environmental sustainability and social sustainability. I think it's quite a nice, almost like strategic planning exercise for our entrants to go through, because they take a bit more of a holistic look at their business. And that's what our judging process almost forces them to do. So I think, in any business, it's good to step back every once in a while and have a look from above or below or the side and see where you're at.
Well, that would surprise some entrants, I would have thought. Maybe, people would be expecting purely it to be an environmental or sustainable kind of physical kind of competition or an award. Does that surprise people when they get through to understand that triple bottom line you talked about?
I think less and less. I think probably, when our awards started and, in some regions they've been going, well, the Waikato, for example, over 30 years now. over 20 years in a lot of our regions. I think when we started, we probably were viewed a little bit, I guess mainly environmental, a little bit tree huggerish, if you will.
Yeah.
But I think more and more now people are understanding that sustainability is not just environmental sustainability, to be really strong environmentally, you do need to have a good bottom line. You need to have, money to back it up. So, and you need good people in your business to make sure that runs, or good succession planning if it's family. So, I think that's just farming in general. That's how it's moving,
Yeah. No, you're right. Sustainability, I think, environmental sustainability has broadened out right to the whole farm system. And I did a little bit of work on this last year for another job I was doing, and looking at what sustainability really meant. And I did some quite deep research into it, and it was certainly surprised me that all the things that sustainability touched on. And you're right, like it used to have a little bit of a tree huggy sort of hippie kind of feel about it, but now a whole lot of it comes right back into that succession that you were talking about, right? The fact that we're a closed system, or a system that we want to continue going, and families want to keep moving. So yeah, I'm interested you talk about that. The fact that you have had families coming back, and that succession has been a big part of what this award is about. The National Showcase, looking at my calendar, I'm glancing off July the 2nd, I think. Is that right, yes, in Christchurch?
That's right, July the 2nd. And really, I love that event. It is a showcase of the great stuff that's happening across the country. It's all about the imagery and the businesses, and showing them off, and celebrating, I guess, the food and fibre producers of New Zealand. It's a big deal for our regional supreme winners, because we run them through another round of judging, Andy. So next week,
a third round.
Our on-farm judges head out next week to start going through the country. So yeah, they have an on-farm component to that, and then on the 1st of July we bring them in into a panel situation where they have a quick fire interview session with 5 national judges. So that would be the 4th round. So it's a very involved process to get our national sustainability ambassador.
Yeah. And then obviously the big flash night, everyone puts on their glad rags, the flash frocks, and the ties all go on, and it is a great celebration. I really enjoy those nights. Certainly, it is a great get together, if nothing else.
Yeah, I think again, being pan sector, we just bring a lot of like-minded people into the room together. It's not about one industry; it's about the whole, primary sector. So it has, as you say, a really lovely feel in that room.
Yeah. So are tickets on sale yet to this?
Absolutely, they are. So people can jump onto the Trust website, New Zealand Farm Environment Trust website, and get tickets.
Yeah, so it's Christchurch, July the 2nd. I know Sarah and I are coming along, so we're really, really looking forward to it, and hopefully we can get the winner. Just before we go, though, you told me when we were talking, I think it was yesterday, we've got to get the last year's winner on, right? They've done their study.
That's right. Yes. So it's actually the 2024.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah. Hamish and Simon Guild, and they have just been into Argentina to complete a study tour, which is part of the prize package that our national ambassadors get.
Yeah, and the prizes are significant. I mean, we haven't even talked about the prizes but they are significant. And then they've got to go around four rounds of judging before they get there.
That's right.
All right. Hey, Sarah, fantastic to have you on the show. Really looking forward to catching up again. Maybe we'll catch up before the finals, but certainly Sarah and I are very much looking forward to getting to the finals, and then hopefully getting the winner on CountryWide Connect, either do an interview with them there or get them on the next day. So it should be good.
That sounds great. Thanks, Andy.
CountryWide Connect with Andy Thompson and Sarah Perriam-Lampp.